Hey, what's up, Dividend Nomads? Welcome back to the channel. As you can see, I'm back home here in China. I just got back late last night from the Philippines, and my video's late, but I'm going to get it out to you guys right now. Today, I'm going to share with you guys a portfolio update. I'm going to talk about my positions and why my portfolio seems to be doing okay during these tough times that a lot of other income investors are struggling with. And I'll share all this stuff with you guys in today's video. So first, let me get into the phone before we get into the spreadsheet. Let me record the screen for you guys. Let me see here. 3, 2, 1. Bam. All right. I'll open up Charles Schwab. Let me refresh it for you guys. So right now, this is 8:30 in the morning, Monday morning here in China. So the stock market's not open. The market opens at nighttime here because I'm on the other side of the world. So nothing going on right now. But you can see I've got $77,568 in this account. 665 of that is cash. And then if we go down here to view all the positions, you can see I don't have many, but I've got XDTE 1,090 shares. I've got SGov. This is basically where I store cash, treat it like a high yield savings account. 150 shares there. I've got SPYI, which is the NEOS S&P 500 income ETF, 131 shares. I've got Maggie, which is Round Hill's Magnificent 7 cover call ETF, 126. And I've just added SCHX, which is Schwab's US large cap, which is basically the S&P 500 plus the next 250. So it's like the S&P 750. So that one is, I added this for growth, not for an income play, because to balance out some of the turbulence that we're having in the market right now. So now that you know those in the portfolio, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take you behind the scenes into the spreadsheet, share with you guys the performance, and talk to you more about these positions that I'm actually holding, and give you guys a little bit more information on that. Let me record the screen. Bear with me for a second. Okay, 3, 2, 1, bam. All right, so here we are in the spreadsheet where I track this stuff. You can see we got XDTE, Maggie, SPYI, SGov, and SCHX. And actually, I think I see a discrepancy here. Let me fix it real quick. SPYI, there's actually 131, so I'll update this because I forgot to do that. 131, what did I tell you guys? 131.41. And my cost on that is 52.74. I'll just change this real quick to match what's actually going on in the portfolio so you guys get an accurate reading. Okay, here we go. So there we go. You can see here on the left of my positions, and there's my number of shares there, and this is my cost average. But again, I'll tell this to you guys in all the videos. My cost average doesn't matter. It matters what you bought it at, not what I bought it at. It doesn't, the inception price and all that stuff doesn't matter. It matters what you actually paid for the stock. So don't get fooled by looking at these other numbers and other people, right? It matters what you bought it at. The current share price is there. It's got a bunch of other stuff here, day change and all that stuff, which we're not going to get into that. The market's not even open. No point in looking at that. The 52-week range you can see here. And then SPYI and SCHX are near 52-week 1-year highs almost. So anyway, if you look at the returns here, I'll share with you guys the percentages here. XDTE on the market return, we're down 2.71%, and total return is 19.3%. So total return is doing pretty well, and this makes up 55% of my portfolio. This is basically the S&P 500 zero DTE cover call ETF. So basically, whatever the S&P does, this is going to do. Like if S&P goes down, this is going to go down, but you're still going to get paid. S&P goes up, this goes up, just not as much as the S&P because it is a cover call ETF. It is capped on the upside, so you do have that limiting factor. But we're getting a lot of income from this. This is basically the main income driver of the portfolio. Then we have Maggie again, which is from Round Hill. This is the Magnificent 7. Now, this hasn't been performing very well lately. You can see it's negative 8%, negative 3.19%. But let me tell you guys about this. Number one, when I got into this, that was about the time that the Mag 7 started selling off because there's kind of like a sector rotation. Money was coming out of all these big Magnificent 7 stocks like Nvidia and Meta and stuff like that, and it's rotating into other S&P 500 stocks that aren't the top 7. So you have this kind of sector rotation out of the tech stuff, because a lot of it's AI focused, and there's a lot of volatility going on around AI right now. But when it comes to the Mag 7, right, it doesn't really matter what it is, because the top 7 stocks, if they're no longer the top 7, they get removed from the Mag 7 and something else will replace them, just like in the S&P 500. Say the S&P 500, the bottom number 500 doesn't do well, they take it out and put another one in its place. And this is the same thing. So actually, if I remember correctly, like Broadcom, AVGO, just recently took Tesla's spot in the Mag 7. So when you have stocks that perform really well, they'll go there, and ones that don't, they'll get taken out. So I'm not too concerned with this, because it's not a large position. I've been slowly just buying a little bit here and there as it's down on down days, just so I can keep my total return close to flat, because once this starts going back up, this will go up. So it's just a matter of time, but I'm just not buying into it heavy right now. I'm just waiting for the next sector rotation. SPYI is the next one there. This is S&P 500 again. So you can see the theme here: XDTE, 0 DTE, S&P 500 cover calls. SPYI are like out of the money cover calls. So this has more growth potential, I guess. It does have some upside into it, just not a lot. But right now it's not doing great, but it's not doing bad. We're at a negative, almost 1% on the market return, but we're almost 1% on total return, not quite. So, but it is a positive total return. So I could sell it right now and walk away with more than I started with. The same with XDTE, so no big deal there. SGov, again, like I said, this is basically my high yield savings account. It's paying me every month. And you can see the market return is 0.17, total return is 0.48. And basically what this does is it kind of resets it every month, and it slowly creeps up and up and up every month towards the end of the month. And then when that dividend comes out, it comes back down and resets, and it creeps up again. So that's why you have a difference here in the total return and market return, because we are getting like a 4% yield from this every month. But it doesn't really do nothing, it just kind of stays flat. SCHX, you can see this is my growth driver to offset the cover call ETF, so I can have a little bit of growth in this portfolio. So it's not super volatile, because cover call ETFs can be a little bit volatile, but not too much if you stick like with what I have here. We're basically all S&P 500. XDTE, S&P 500, SPYI. Maggie is the top 7 stocks in the S&P 500. So we're basically 100% the S&P 500, because I believe in the U.S. Top 500 companies. They're the top 500 companies for a reason, right? So that's why I do this, to keep volatility at bay, and it's steady, and you can kind of rely on it if you want to live off of this stuff, right? That's what I'm talking about. If you're not ready to live off of it, and sure, go for some more riskier stuff. But if you want to live off your portfolio, you want some stability, right? And as I mentioned, in these tough times we're having now, which I'll share with you guys, this really quick, the dividend log, like you can see before here in 2025, I was getting more income, like I was getting more, well, at one point I was getting like $4,000 a month, but I was in some risky stuff. But you can see we kind of flattened out here, 2,000, 1,100, 2,000, 1,700, 2,600. But lately, because the market here in 2026, it's been down. Like January, I got a bunch of money because XETE paid like a special end of year dividend, but that's not the normal. And then right now, here in February, XETE has been paying out smaller dividends because the market has been so crazy lately. They've been trying to protect the NAV, which I actually really like. They're protecting my money, but they're still paying a little bit. And in this situation, what I do is I keep that money in the portfolio. I don't take it out to live off of. And I have savings for that, an emergency expense for that. And that's what I recommend you do if you want to live off your portfolio, because the market don't always go up. The market don't always, there are incidents that happen when you have, bear markets and crashes and sector rotations and things like that, where things happen like right now, when some places will actually cut the dividend to protect the NAV. They do try to protect your capital, and that's what I like about XETE, that they did do that, and they're not paying out this huge dividend. But so far, you can see XDTE, I put at the top here, has paid me $397 this month, and I will get paid again. Maggie's paid me $114, SPYI paid me $67, and SGov paid me $46. SCHX pays quarterly, so I will get a dividend from them, but not until March, so nothing going to happen this month. But if you look here at the calendar, today's the 23rd, so I will get paid today from Maggie, and then on Friday, on the 27th, I'll get paid again from XCTE. So I will get 2 more payments here this month in this portfolio. So you can see right now we got 4, 5, 6, over $600. Let's go see how much it is. For February so far, we've made what? $626. And I still got some more payments coming. So 7, 8, it's probably going to be like $800. Now, living here in Asia, can you live on that? Yeah, of course you can. But in this time, I wouldn't recommend pulling your money out of your portfolio. Like I said, I keep 3 years worth of cash in living expenses to basically keep my portfolio intact, so I don't have to draw down from my balance and don't have to draw out of this. I can live off of my cash savings until the market returns back to normal. And I highly recommend, if you want to live out of your portfolio, maybe I'm too conservative having 3 years. Like the average bear market lasts 11 months, which is only 1 year. So having 1 or 1.5 years of cash and living expenses saved as an emergency expense would probably be reasonable for most people. But maybe I'm just conservative, man. I grew up poor, man, and I actually been homeless before on the street, and I don't want to go through that again. So I have 3 years worth of cash living expenses as a huge safety net in case we go into like a Great Depression type thing, like in the 1920s. That was the only time a bear market has lasted 3 years, and that's why I have 3 years worth of cash. So that's my reasoning behind that, and that's wanted to share that with you guys. But yeah, if you definitely want to live out of your portfolio, I wouldn't try it without having at least a year or a year and a half worth of living expenses. And it depends on, where you live, how much that costs. So, I live here in China. I've been here for 16 years in China. I've been in Asia for 20 years. Lived in the Philippines and stuff like that. Cost of living here is very low, right? I mean, I usually spend $1,200, maybe $1,400 a month. We'll just say $1,200 just for, the easy sake of math, but $1,200 a month, about 12 months, I'll do it real quick, I can't even remember, $14,400 per year. So, $43,000 in savings, which I have about $50,000 in cash saved. So it's more than enough to last 3 years here in Asia. So for me, my living expenses are low, $14,000 a year, $15,000 a year. But for some people, that's their living expenses every single month. And if that's you, then you're going to need a bigger safety net, of course. And so, me, I typically live like a minimalist, and I keep my expenses low and keep this. It's easier to have freedom that way. And that's why I prefer to do things that way. And so anyway, yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys about how I manage that. And I do that by keeping cash, and I keep reinvesting in the portfolio to keep growing it during these times and protect my capital. But this isn't my only portfolio either, guys. I have other portfolios which I do share on this channel from time to time, and I have another channel where I share some also. So take it with a grain of salt, right? It's going to be hard to live off of a $70,000 portfolio unless you are living, somewhere like Philippines or Thailand or Cambodia or something like that, or here in China where costs are very low, and you can actually live out a portfolio like this, but not during this time. So just want to shed some light and some realities with you guys on how that works in terms of trying to live off your portfolio and what you need. Is it doable here in Asia? For sure, 100% for sure. You can live off $77,000. You can see my portfolio was getting, $2,000 a month, and you live really good on $2,000 a month in Vietnam or Thailand, Philippines, stuff like that. So definitely doable. So anyway, that's all I really got for you guys today. I'll be making some more videos for you guys here in the very next coming few days, and get back to my normal video schedule. So I look forward to seeing y'all then, and y'all take care.